This is Dirty Mouth Radio, produced by Livewire Sound and Entertainment. We got some guests. We got some guests in the building.
Hold up, son. I knew you do that shit. Like, yeah, so it's not like you reading like shit.
I got little notes, man. It's about to be a bomb-ass episode. I'll start again.
It's not about to be dope as fuck.
Rewind. Alright. What up? It's your boy Comedic Energy, and this is Dirty Mouth Radio. Dirty Mouth Radio. Produced by Livewire Sound and Entertainment. Hi over there in IG land. Yes, we're finally on. After technical difficulty, we a little late, but we here. God damn it! So don't you fucking cut the phone off. Right? Shit on, all right?
Right on time.
So we, like I said, we got some special guests up in here. I let everybody introduce themselves right now.
First, Chris Clark, ArtequalsC2, local artist here in Charlotte.
I'm F. Kearns, local artist in the Charlotte area, more northern than southern. FK Creative on IG, aka the acrylic assassin.
Yeah.
Canvas killer.
Ooh,
all those hashtags. Look me up.
Okay.
Good.
You do acrylic?
Yeah.
Why need I know that?
I need to do
Hey, it's
acrylic,
your day.
but I don't do the pores.
You gonna do the pour? Okay. Yo, acrylic is dope, yo. I seen some crazy techniques, yo. It's wild. I haven't gotten into it yet, but I plan on doing it.
You're supposed to come over my house like
Hey,
a few months
you're right.
ago.
You're right.
Can we find out who the hell you are?
Oh, shit. First of all, everybody already know who I am. This is crazy.
Really?
And who's over there in computer land?
Sade, hey y'all. Sade Lation Zone.
Yeah. So what's everybody been up to?
Creating.
Trying to.
Yes.
Like a motherfucker. I mean, go ahead. So what you just do over
Nothing.
there?
Go ahead.
That was kind of weird.
Go ahead.
But nah, man, like Chris was saying, man, creating, like, yo, that's been the format, like, for the past couple months, man. Like, just trying to make things happen for yourself and, like, formatting and planning out how you going to systematically, like, you know, introduce yourself into the public. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, presenting your ideas and, like, your creativity and shit in ways that people aren't already seeing it.
Yeah.
I feel like in today's era, it's like mad hard to like come up with like original shit. You know what I'm saying? You be like, damn, like what the fuck can I do? Oh, I'm gonna do a brain on top of a statue. Wait, that's been done already. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do a hand coming out of the ground. Oh shit, motherfuckers is making statues doing that shit now. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just wild, you know. But like when you go on like social media and shit, like you see so many brilliant people, and it just like blows your mind and just sends you into a space. Yeah. Well, it sends me into a space where I can just like create, like, okay, this is what I need to do. Yo. I can't do this regular job shit no more. This shit is whack as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do y'all feel about that shit?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we all have gifts, and God didn't give us these gifts to sit at those 9 to 5.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Not unless it's something you could do with your hands, but you know, being a doctor or a lawyer, as long as it's your passion, though. You know what I mean? So, I mean, if you have a job, you know, it's your passion and, you know, but creative people like us that can create on a canvas, on a piece of paper, sitting at a 9 to 5, it's like, it's almost torture.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I can see that.
Is.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I ain't no artist, but I can see that, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
I can understand when you're ready to just let them creative juices flow.
But I mean,
right,
at a certain extent, I feel like this is me. I personally feel like everybody is an artist in some fact. When you think about it, bro, everything we do, everything you see is an art.
Yep.
Yes.
There's a beginning stage, and that's the art of it. You know what I'm saying? Like martial arts. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, everything, even math can be an art, because if you didn't know, math is applicable to music, it's applicable to colors, it's applicable to a lot of things. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
So like I think everything has an art form and everything has a scientific form to me. And everybody that makes everybody an artist, you know?
Yeah.
Like
I agree with that. Dance is art.
of course.
Architecture.
Right, architecture,
Yeah.
I guess anything that you create, anything that you make,
It's
Right.
art.
is art.
And
Yeah.
something straight from inside of you, or even something inspired by something else. Like I like that. Like I used to didn't like when people would take concepts or take other people's shit and then try to recreate it and make it their own.
Yeah.
But I think that's just what life is. Like something is born from something that's dead.
Yeah, always.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like jazz was dying, but rap brought that motherfucker and twisted it around and made it something new. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's just so wild how like in art, like it's always forever changing, but it's never really changing. It's just using the old concepts and presenting something new.
It's an evolution.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everything just becomes. You take that old thing, you make it new.
Whole thing,
It's
make
not.
it new.
Yeah. It's not. You're not biting off anybody,
Right,
but you're
right,
just
right.
taking it. It's an inspiration. You make it your own. You know what I'm
Make
saying?
it
So
your own.
everything, what evolution really is just pushing the envelope just to make it a little different. That's all it is, man.
Yeah, I fuck
That's
with
all.
that.
Because everything's been done pretty much.
Right. Right.
For the most part.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why I dislike when people be like, I came out. No, it's been done before.
It has.
Like, we're doing it again.
Right.
You just putting your own style on that. Yeah,
Exactly.
I feel you on that. I can agree with that. It's funny that y'all saying this because y'all know the topic here is black art and how it impacts the black community. So it's been a while since I did this segment, but this is about to be comedic history. So with this, I did a little research on my own, and there's two documentaries that I literally just finished watching today. The first one is called Colored Frames, and it's actually on YouTube. And the second one was a biography, pretty much, of Jean Miguel Basquiat. Did I say that right? Basquiat.
Yeah.
That dude was a pretty wild dude. I gotta give it to him. He was a beast.
He went insane, didn't he?
He didn't go insane per se. Well, let me go through the whole thing first. So when I was watching the Colored Frame one, that one was pretty much about African American artists who do abstract art and what you can consider classical art. And they were talking about how it's hard to get in those rims of art because it's dominated by white society.
Yeah.
And they kind of don't let, a lot of African Americans in those circles. So the actual documentary, going verbatim, it was just talking about the, like I said, the classical and abstract art world from the 60s all the way up until today. There was a guy in there, and I don't want to put too many names out because we're highlighting you guys.
Gotcha.
But there was a guy in there, he said civilization successes are defined by art. When he said it, I was like, well, goddamn. He was like, look at the hieroglyphics. That's art.
Yep.
That shows you how much success they had.
Right.
Look at the Aztecs. Look at the temples. That's art.
Right.
You know how much success they had as a civilization based on what they did.
Right.
Just what we were just talking about.
Right.
That shit was just profound to me.
You said it was called
Colored
Color
Frames.
Frames?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because
check that out.
Well,
You want me to keep going?
I mean, well, even through their architecture, like just looking at those civilizations from before, yo, like to be able to build inside of like canyons and mountains and hills with the materials just surrounding their environment, you know what I'm saying? And then coming up with like an
Pyramids.
idea like, okay, how can we make the best efficient homes for our people? You know what I'm saying? Like we in the middle, like you got Indians or Native Americans who live in like in the open, you know what I'm saying? Just because it gives them a clear sight line to anything around them and any predators and stuff like that, because people think that like Native Americans was hiding in trees and in the woods. Yeah, some of them did that, but there was some too who hid in the open so that they could see everything around them for yards and yards and, you know what I'm saying, or acres and stuff, you know. How can we make a home in the open? It's hot, there's no shade, you know what I'm saying? How can we keep our houses from collapsing and stuff? They making homes out of clay, you know what I'm saying? And the process, like, yo, making a clay home is not easy. I made a clay. I tried to do Deadpool, bro. I tried to do Deadpool, bro. Look at that shit. That shit is difficult as fuck, but it's fun. I made a bowl. I haven't painted them yet or anything like that, so I'm keeping them bitches.
I've been telling myself I need to get me some clay, man.
Yo, clay is, oh my God.
My daughter uses clay.
Yes, yo, encourage that. Yo, that's, you can make some bread off of that shit. You can make statues.
Gotta get something now.
Example, you can even do animation with clay, cause you know what I'm saying, you just make different pieces. But getting back to what I was saying, as far as like their structures and their homes and stuff, like from the TP, all of that stuff, yo, it's all art. Like somebody had to draw that shit out first. You know, you not building no damn Noah's Ark and shit without no plans.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's how they were able to recreate it. So
somebody had to bring that vision to life. Draw it out, sketch it out, or whatever they did.
And the thing is, too, they just used their resources. Whatever they had, they made it great.
Right. Yeah, they're resourceful. I mean, today's era, today's society, I feel like we're resourceful, but it's kind of like we've gotten lazy too. So it's because like in today's society, everything happens so fast and everything is like on a like minute to minute basis and shit. So like when it comes to art, yo, like for real artists and for any artist, like there's a level, there's a mindset you gotta be in to create.
Yo,
you know what
you
I'm
have to slow the whole world
right,
down,
exactly,
man.
bro. You
like
can't
you gotta be in
just-
your own space. Like if it's too much going on around me, you got a million things going on. It's hard to just concentrate on a piece of work. And my friend was like, "Yo, just knock this piece out, knock that piece out." I'm like, "You can't. you can't
stop.
The pour technique. Yeah, you can knock that out in a few minutes. But detail art, where you got to be in your space,
right?
No distractions.
Portraits,
tough. You have to slow everything down.
I be telling him all the damn time, like, hurry up with
just
my
do
shit.
it. Yeah, you can't. You can't
do my shit, nigga.
Yeah, because
like,
I mean, then
shit.
too. I mean, and then this is where it comes to like, you know, just free artists versus artists who kind of do stuff for in a profession. You know what I'm saying? Like free artists, you know what I'm saying, they gonna tend to kind of do stuff in their time, get in the mood, get in this place.
Right.
You know, artists who kind of do stuff on like a production type of way, like they have to plan like sections. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna finish this quarter by this time. You know what I'm saying? And it's like a process. Like if you watch them, they're very, very methodical and concise, and they have times where they have to do certain shit by a certain time. You know what I'm saying? So that's where the scientific part comes into play. Like how fast can I get these ridges in her forehead and shit? You know what I'm saying? Like shit like detail, yo.
Yeah.
You can't rush detail, bro.
You can't. You can tell when you look at it. Yeah, when you look at it, you could tell if it's been rushed.
Right. Yeah. And it's sad, man, because you be like, damn, like did they not have enough time or like what was going on? But I mean, you gotta kind of like, as an artist, I feel like sometimes we can be a little too free, and it's like, yo, dude, you gotta make this bread, okay? You know what I'm saying? So you gonna have to like plan this shit out, do whatever you gotta do, quit your job and go full time, be on the streets, draw that shit, you know, set that shit up. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a business too, you know. And business people ain't trying to hear like, oh man, I forgot my notepad at my apartment and shit last night, so I couldn't do no work when I went to the library and shit. You know what I'm saying? They ain't trying to hear that shit. They want to know, yo, where's my logo? Where's my, you know what I'm saying, my design? Where's this? You know, it's like it's a job. Even when you work for yourself, you gotta be like that towards yourself. You know, because it guides you, it sets you up for success, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it pushes you a little bit.
Yeah.
And everybody need that little extra push.
Yeah.
For sure. You can't just be free all the time and think you're going to be able to make your money like you want to make your money. You got to come up with that business plan, okay, if I'm gonna do originals, if I want to focus on originals, how can I bring money in? And that's kind of what I'm focusing on now. I'm doing, prints and note cards and stuff that you ain't got to spend a whole lot of time on, but you can still get that, as Nipsey Hussle would say, that mailbox money.
Right. Yeah, yeah. I was listening to that on the way over this joke.
Yeah, and to piggyback off of what he said, that's what I've been doing now too, is taking my originals, printing them out. You know what I'm saying? Because if I got to rely on just creating something to get paid, man, that'd be a month. You know what I mean?
I can see that.
And whatever I make from it ain't gonna cover me for the month. But
and that's I would say this to a lot of artists too, man. Like, as far as like doing shit, like I think all the artists in Charlotte, like us included, Bama's need to start getting into the filming industry. You know what I'm saying?
Filming?
Because that's money. That money is long.
Industry?
That's money's long.
Yeah,
Yes, filming.
Okay,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, Bamas just need to just get together, get some costume designers, painters, sketchers, designers, and just come together and just make a dope ass movie. You know what I'm saying? Because that's money in the bank.
Yo.
You know what I'm saying? That shit comes back around every so often. You know,
right.
like.
Or just like short films.
Right, short films,
Yeah,
little
just to kinda display.
webisodes and stuff like that. I've seen a couple webisodes that was actually dope. And a lot of them was like love stories, but you sit there, you be like, yo, this shit tight as fuck.
Yeah,
You know, it look homemade, but I could sit here and fuck with this shit.
Yeah.
And it's better than some of these sitcoms that's on TV. You know what I'm saying? Because they got a little more freedom.
Right.
But I think like artists in Charlotte should just come together and just start a fucking movie production. You know what I'm saying? And just fuck it. You know, I mean, we ain't gonna make no money straight. Ain't gonna make no money straight up, but fuck it.
Yeah.
Later on
Why
down
not?
the road, somebody gonna see that shit and be like, yo, we want to put this in the movie theaters.
Yep.
Wow, I never.
Once
thought
they
about
put that in the movie theaters, bro, you know, that money, every time that shit it moves to another platform like Netflix or HBO or some shit, that shit play over and over. Why you think some of these shows is still going on today? Them people still making paper off that shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and even if they don't pick up the whole thing, they might see a piece or they might see a costume or something that they can just, you know what I'm saying? Somebody will say, okay, who is that designer?
Right.
Who designed that costume?
Right.
Yeah.
Whose artwork is that in the background?
Yeah.
Just stuff like that.
Have you noticed that now? Like you watching movies or shows and stuff, there's like dope art on the wall.
Black Panther.
Black Panther, definitely
Yeah.
one. But just, I mean, any kind of show you think about.
Yeah, you're right. Yo, I have been noticing that now that I think about
Yeah,
this
there's
shit.
dope art in the background, man. Something just sitting on the wall or it's crazy. And you're thinking like, yo, who did that? And who's getting paid for that?
Yeah.
Right. Who is
It's
it?
crazy.
Who the hell? Right. You're right.
But creativity, I mean, I think a lot of people are catching on to the creativity now. You know what I mean? It's not just regular stuff.
So with that, like, going back to those two documentaries, right? Well, in the first one with the color frames, they were asking these questions like, what do we need to do as a community? The first one, they say, of course, support each other. That's like the biggest thing. The second thing was, and this one kind of stood out to me. This dude was saying there needs to be more African American critics that are in those rims
I didn't think
that
about
work
that.
for newspapers.
That's true.
I was like, work for newspapers? He was like,
Yeah.
this is dominated by whites. And that's the reason why you
can't
can't
get in.
find that stuff in galleries. Yeah, you can't find no fine art like that.
Yeah,
never
we
think
need
about
more
that.
representation of us. Just like
Exactly.
with jury duty. When people trying to get out of jury duty, when people get convicted, we need more of us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's true.
We need more of us in all of the damn platforms.
All of them.
Shit.
Exactly.
The car industry, shit. I'm over here trying to design prototypes and concepts
Get
for
that
stock
clay.
cars,
Hey,
bro.
get that clay right.
You know what I'm saying? That gets your money right. You
Yeah.
talking about getting some paper. We need to be in all of that shit.
But there
You
is
know
a
what I'm
guy,
saying?
he designs for Dodge. No, Chrysler. He's probably like about our age, the guy. He's
Really?
he's black, he's Haitian.
Wow. You know what? I did
Word.
see that.
You seen that?
Yeah.
What's his
yeah.
name?
I can't remember the name of the
Yeah.
documentary. When I get it, I'll
I seen
tell
the
you. but-
post on Instagram.
It was
man.
dope.
Yeah, yo, that's
And it made me feel bad because he went back to his home. I think he grew up in Jersey or something like that, and went to his basement. And he pulled out all these sketches of cars and stuff he designed. I'm like, I used to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, why didn't I keep going? Like, why not? Why I got to be 20, 30 years later? But I'm like, yo, I want to tap into that talent.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
wow.
So he's like, 38, 39, 40, whatever age he is, and he designs like the Chrysler 300. He designed that.
Damn.
Some new Chrysler that's coming out next few years.
That's real.
Oh, wow.
It's dope.
That's cool.
You
Yeah.
talking about having a house on a hiatus and shit.
Yeah.
He making that paper.
Yeah. But going back to what you were saying, needing more black representation or black critics, I give you a short story. There is a lady in Charlotte. She turns her whole house into an art gallery.
Oh yeah.
Like once a month or something like that. It's called House of Charlotte Art or something like that. Real nice lady. But anyway, I went. A friend of mine invited me to an event that she was having at the house or whatever. And she was like, yeah, email me when you get your art in here too. But of course, I'm a black artist. And her reason was, I'm not saying it was an excuse. I'm not calling a race. I'm not playing a race card or anything.
Yeah.
But she said my audience wouldn't really receive
Oh.
your art. I wasn't mad at her,
Yeah.
but it made me think about what you just
Right.
said.
Exactly.
If she was black, why aren't more black people doing that? Why won't a black person just say like, yo, listen, I'm all the black artists in Charlotte, the surrounding areas, let's put all our stuff up in this crib, you know what I'm saying, in this house, and just bring people through, and not to even discriminate at the door.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Bring all kind of people in. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, that made me think.
And it's funny that you said that because in that documentary, somebody said the exact same thing.
Yeah.
When they were trying to paint on black velvet, they was like, "Oh, it won't be accepted here." She was like,
But-
"Black velvet painting by a black artist won't be accepted here." She said, "No, it just doesn't sell."
See, that's the thing though too, man. Cause like them sellers, man, they be on that bullshit because we got Americans who go over and out and under and fly into countries just for their art. And those motherfuckers look like us.
And that was gonna be
You know
my
what I'm
point.
saying?
Like,
And
why isn't that? Why is that?
they,
Why is it that because that's kind of going into the whole thing that I was getting ready to put out there, but we can fast forward to it. Why is it? It seems like black international artists get a little more recognition than the ones in the States.
and that's because you already know what that shit's all about, son. Because our culture, we actually put shit. Art is a reflection of the times. Us as artists, we reflect the time. We transform the times. Hip hop, rap has completely taken over the sound waves of every industry. You know what I'm saying? Who created that shit?
We did.
Jazz took over every platform. Who created that shit? Even country music. You see what I'm saying? They know that we have an influence, and if we broadcast our influence into the world, then they're afraid that their children who love our shit will start conforming to a new idea or ism. You feel me?
Yep.
So they it's a control thing, and these people, it's gotten to the time now to where people actually start believing like, okay, dark skinned people won't sell this movie. You know what I'm saying? If you put a black dark actor in this movie or too many black people in this movie, it's not gonna sell. You know what I'm saying? Movie industry is an art, but they do shit like that. That's why in a lot of these movies you see a lot of light motherfuckers in the joint, and you might see one dark character. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But black is beautiful, baby. You know what I'm saying? Like anytime somebody sees something like a black woman and shit, it's always like, damn. You know what I'm saying? Like that's new. You feel me?
Yeah.
So I mean, thinking of it as an artist from an artist standpoint, black does stand out around white or surrounded by white. It stands out more, but white also stands out surrounded by black. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like
I can
niggas
agree
need to
with
start
that.
getting in the mindset like, yo, it's vice versa. It works both ways, bro. Like
Yeah.
we could do this shit together. I don't know why y'all trying to control and manipulate the masses and shit by taking us out of the motherfucking context and picture. We live in this country, bro.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm
We see
saying?
it.
Wow.
You know, invest in your boy. I bet you damn well we'll make you a billionaire. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that, people want to, but
Yeah.
shit, I want to make myself a billionaire. But
Yeah.
So
Wouldn't be bad.
with the reason why I picked these two documentaries, because there was a few of them on YouTube, is because the colored frames dealt with the fine art. Jean-Michel Basquiat, did I say that right? Mm-hmm. He was on the other aspect, on the other scale of art. And just to give people, you know, on the IG land and everybody else some background, with him, he was a revolutionary painter. He was from Brooklyn. He was half Puerto Rican and half Haitian. Mm-hmm. He started as a graffiti artist named Samo. He sold art on postcards for money, kind of like what you were saying.
Yeah.
He did not want to be labeled as a black artist. He just wanted to be labeled as an American artist. That's all he wanted because he didn't want those doors to close on him.
Yeah.
I can kind of respect that, you know? Like, you know what I am, you know, but I need to get this out here. This is me. I am art. Yeah. He was, when I was watching the documentary, the way he was going about it, his mindset, his whole mentality, it reminded me of Prince. He took passion in his art. And I know all you artists do. But he was like, this is how it is. This is how I am. I'm not going to put out no bullshit. I'm going to take that time, like you were saying. If it takes me forever to do this, it's going to take me forever. And I'm going to give you some. One thing he highlighted was Picasso. So Picasso has this painting called the Dora Maar. And it's in a New York museum. And he said that Picasso actually got the influence to make this painting from Africa. He went over there, he saw how they were designing the masks, the tribal mask, and how beautiful the African female is. And he created it. So if you look at the Dora Maar, you see the African influence in it. And it was astounding to me. Like, a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah, I actually seen something on YouTube the other day that Bill Cosby talked about the same thing back when he was doing educational videos.
Yeah.
He even had like images of where famous artists got these ideas or these I guess these looks for their portraits. Mm-hmm. He had like examples of like all the African masks and that kind of linked with all the famous artists. So that was kind of cool. I forget the name of the video, but it was back when he was doing like the educational stuff.
That's crazy, man. Like, that's something I never thought about. You know, you hear about the Picassos and the Rembrandts, but not a lot of people ask what their influence was from.
And African masks are dope.
Do stuff derived from, you know, what we do. That's just like, you know, when black women do certain things, whether it's braids now, it's not cornrows to them, it's something else. Like, how I started this project, and now you do it, and now I get an F for it, but you get a damn A. Like,
I see what you're saying with that. Damn.
So, I mean, like, with that being said, how do y'all feel about, how is it for you all as black artists in today's society, or like starting from when you started up until now? You know what I'm saying? Like, what do y'all feel like are some of the challenges and like the progressions throughout, you know what I'm saying, your course of life or your lineage in this form or your form?
I feel like my biggest challenge was believing that I could sell artwork. I kind of took a break away from artwork for a while, and I was doing music for a while, and I started getting back into the art world, and it was just believing that I could sell something. And I guess one day I just finally got the courage to put something up in a coffee shop, just a small coffee shop downtown, and it sold $100. I was like, damn, okay. But another one, boom, sold for $100. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, just those first couple sales. Once you start to get those first couple sales, that motivation come in.
Yeah.
My biggest challenge was it wasn't that I didn't believe I can do it. It was changing my mindset from a 9-to-5er. You know what I mean?
Right.
The person trying to climb that corporate ladder. And it's tough.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But I've been in that mindset for 30-some years.
Yeah.
And to change it and to be like, okay, no, you're an artist now. So when people ask me, what do I do? I got to keep in mind, no, I'm an artist. I don't work for You know what I'm saying?
That's the side.
I don't work.
About my shit.
I'm in art. Yeah, right. There you go. So the challenge for me really is the confidence to say, okay, I'm gonna go into a coffee shop like you did.
Yeah.
Like all my boys tell me, like, yo, just go into a coffee shop and try to sell your art, and I keep telling myself that's not gonna work, or I can't do it. You know what I mean? Because it's mine.
Yeah.
I would tell you something. If I took a piece of his art and went to a coffee, I could do that. You understand? Because I'm my own worst critic.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the confidence in my own work
Yeah.
can sometimes hold me back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because if that person says, like that lady said, your artwork won't be received by these people. Sometimes it's a little
It's like
bit
a
of
punch in the gut.
It's a punch in the gut. It's discouraging. So to
And it's
constantly
easy to
keep
get
yourself
discouraged.
motivated, that's the tough part. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's something that comes natural, and something that somebody could actually critique you on.
Because it's personal, man. It's
Personal.
real
like somebody-
personal.
It's like somebody, like your artwork is like somebody. It's like somebody criticizing or talking bad about your wife or your child.
Or your
You're
child,
right, bro.
Yeah, like that's
amazing.
right.
That's
Oh
what
my
I
gosh.
work,
Right.
My creation.
Exactly. So, not that I'm looking for everybody to praise it and all that stuff, but just a little like, okay, I may put it up in here, I may not, or I like it, I may not like it. You're like, yo, what? I remember I did a watercolor painting of Michael Jackson. I thought it was the dopest thing in the world because I've never done watercolor.
Yeah.
I sent it to this kid. He's really deep in the art. He does like comics and all that stuff. He said, yeah, it looks good. I said, good?
Yo, that'd be the worst.
good?
They'd be like, dude.
Are you
like,
kidding me? But at the same time, it's not a bad.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing because in reality, it should have picked me up to be like, good man, I want to impress this
You're
dude.
right.
I
You
want
wanna
to
make
say
them
this
jump
is
out their
great.
head.
Right,
Yeah.
right. You know what I'm saying? So I mean,
see
it's that balance. It's a challenge. It's a challenge. You know what I'm saying?
So let me ask you this question, and this is my main question when I spoke about them two documentaries. I keep going back to that, but I wanted to bring it all the way down to this point.
Yeah.
So, how would you actually describe your art style? Is it on the lines of the Rembrandt and Picasso's, or is it on the lines of the Jean-Michel Basquiat's? And we can go because all three of you guys are artists. So
It's Chris.
Yeah.
It's on the lines of Chris.
Right. Shawty, you right.
Well, there you go. I mean, that's exactly what she said. Like,
okay,
it's mine.
yeah,
There is no. I mean, we influenced by artists, but my influence is more like not that I want to do it like him. It's more like, oh shoot, he's doing. I gotta get my stuff going.
Right.
But I don't try to say it's on anybody's level. You know what I mean? It's mine. Like,
I mean, not well. Let me rephrase because I did kind of fuck up and say that. I meant, what's your actual style? I know it's hard to put something in a box. It's hard to do that. I can see that. But are you on the lines of a fine artist, a classical artist, or are you on the lines of something different? And if you're on the lines of something different, what is it? That's how I should have put that question. I'm sorry.
I guess it's two parts. Number one, it's hard for me to, like you said, put it in the box because I tap into everything. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, I could do
Yo,
that.
this
So
man's
I
pen
just
art
try.
is crazy. Yo.
Yeah.
crazy with the pen, bro.
So I've done a lot of stuff. What's the second part of that question? I forgot. I'm bugging out.
Like, what are you?
Where do you see yourself
Yeah.
Yeah, like
as far as the classical art scene or something different?
Basically, how do you identify the style that you do?
yeah, your art.
I
If
have-
you
Your
laid
art-
out
your artist
everything.
identity.
Yeah. I haven't identified it yet because
Right.
I love it all. I would hate to say like it's this way and
Yeah.
never touch that other
Yeah.
that other genre again. You know what I'm saying? So that could be a challenge. Also, really is almost creating for a certain audience. It's like I said, like that lady again. I have to create a certain type of art
Body of work.
just to get in her house.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if I'm in Noda, I can do anything.
Yeah.
And I think
But
that's
if I
cool.
go to the deep hood, then it's gonna be something different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's important to kind of keep your eyes open and don't really focus on one thing.
Yeah.
But I'd say for marketing purposes,
Right. Yeah.
you have to have okay, this is my look.
Right.
Even though you dabble in other stuff, I feel like you have to have that look that people can look at it and be like, okay, that's one of Chris's pieces. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I know it's tough.
Yeah,
about
nah,
that signature.
That one piece.
And I mean, I feel like that's what you're doing already.
This dude right here, yo, this dude right here, like if you and you know what I love about Franklin, he has an identity. Like if you see it, you're like, yeah, that's Franklin. But I've seen his other work where he can paint you. You know what I'm
Word.
saying?
Damn.
But he sticks to that one thing, and I'm like, man, that's tough. How you do that?
Yo,
Like, how do you do that? How do you say like, I'm just gonna do this forever? Like I'm gonna continue doing this and never dabble back into other stuff.
I
to keep
still
your
dabble, but like I said, but for the marketing purposes, I want to have. This is what I love to do. This is my look. You know what I mean? And you can't do that all the time.
Yeah.
You got to kind of switch it up a little bit, and that's why I kind of keep a little sketchbook. I'm trying to dabble into mixed media and collage and stuff like that. But at the same time, while I'm doing that, I'm pulling all that stuff back into my identity. You know what I mean? So it still looks the same, but I'm trying to switch it up and use different materials and
I find that difficult as well, like because like the stuff that I do now looks nothing like what I was doing like in high school or like what I was doing in college or like those different points in my life. It's like my identity honestly is like it's in a lot of different places.
Right.
You know what I'm
right,
saying?
yeah.
Because like now I never wanted to touch realism. You know what I'm saying? Because it takes so long. She on pause. But I like realism because it helps me actually go in and plan out, and it helps me like articulate and actually take my time and look at something as opposed to just like freehanding and just going through a whole bunch. You know what I'm saying? You actually have to plan out, do the sketches, then you got to go in and do the lines, then you got to go back and do the shade, and then you got to go back and do the actual details, and then you know what I'm saying, go through the gradients and stuff like that, and look at it as a composition. You know what I'm saying? It like takes you into a more scientifical side or business side mind state. Because when you draw, sometimes you just draw some shit and you leave it to go, and then 5 years later you come back to it. You know, but it makes you actually like, yo, I'm gonna get this joint done. I'm gonna get it done in 2 weeks. So every day, this is how much time I'm gonna spend, and this is where I'm gonna be at. You know what I'm saying? And that shit is difficult, but like he was saying, coming up with an identity, yo, that shit is just
It's crazy.
because it's like you actually have to find out what makes you you. You know what I'm saying? And then recreate it every single time. You know what I'm saying? In everything that you do. And that shit, like, yo, like you dope for that, because that shit is hard as fuck. You know, even as a musician, you know, just trying to figure out, okay, what do when people listen to me, what is it that they like about me?
Yeah.
And how do I
recreate
that every time in different ways or different formats
without getting bored or
right.
You think about like a producer, like a music producer, you hear something like, yeah, that's Dre, that's Neptune.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's Kanye.
Yeah, it's like that one little
Whatever it is.
detail. Yeah, that one little detail. Like,
little wow factor.
yeah, the song could sound like some trap shit, but if it go in this chord progression or this way, oh, that's Dre. Oh, that's fucking who was another producer?
Timbaland.
That's Tim. You know what I'm saying? Tim, he gonna use his mouth. You know, and you can hear some of the sounds that he uses, like all that bullshit. You know, but that's Tim though. Shit down. Aaliyah's soundtrack was off the chain.
Yeah.
You know, Dr. Dre, he gonna hit you with some
some of that West Coast.
Yo, you be like, oh, you hear the piano, you like, yeah, that's some Dre shit, you know.
But you know, my favorite producer is Kanye.
Word.
Only because I love everybody else, but even if it's a track I don't like from Kanye, it sounds totally different than track number one. You see what I'm saying?
Okay, I see what you mean.
So he doesn't have, I mean, you can hear certain things, like he has about 5 or 6 different sounds, you know what I mean? And that's what I love about him. And I guess that's who I identify with the most. It's like, man, he could do anything, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So track 1 may sound totally different from track 5. You know what I mean? Whereas, like you said, Timbaland, they have their own sound. Dope artists, dope producers, but they have that one sound.
And Kanye West, like, I've always respected Kanye West, but I respect him even more because he is himself a canvas artist.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Have y'all ever seen like his art on his documentary? Yo, he's real as shit. Chris Brown is too.
Yo.
Chris Brown is a dope ass artist. These dudes, they just don't do one thing, yo. These dudes, their music comes from like that background, but he's very abstract in some of the stuff he does. And I don't know why he doesn't sell his own art. I mean, I don't know if he does or not, but that motherfucker, like he can freaking paint and draw, bro.
So do you think in some way, shape, or form, it's kind of just as bad as the lady that said it won't sell here to actually try to put your work into a genre?
Yeah.
Do you think that's like limiting you as an artist? If somebody says, "What is your particular genre of artistry?"
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm getting.
Yeah,
listening to
that's
you
what
guys.
I said. There's two parts. That's where
Yeah.
I'm struggling with being in a box, where he's thinking as a businessman.
Yeah.
For marketing purposes, you have to stick to one.
And that's where it's like, I want to be up in the clouds. This is me. This is everything. And they're trying to pull you back down to earth and say, no, you right here.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, but that stems from like the business and the predominant, because the predominant mass of people aren't really like. When you're trying to sell to a mass, you gotta put something out there, one thing that the majority are gonna love, and the majority of people out here aren't really thinking on an abstract level because they do mundane things every day. You know what I'm saying? So like, if you working like as a lawyer or a doctor and stuff, your conception of art is, it may be very, very leveled out. As opposed to people who actually dabble in different arts, they look at your art and be like, "Oh shit, I like the way you went up this way and came back that way. Oh, I like the way you put this concept with this concept and made this concept." They can go into detail, but that's a very, very limited scope and spectrum of people. You know what I'm saying? Like, even when you creating for kids, all kids ain't gonna just be like, "Oh, I love Hey Arthur and shit like that." They be like, "I like Shark,
Baby Shark.
Baby Shark." You know what I'm saying? And that I don't know what I mean, but everything now, I feel like it's coming out way, and that's what I was trying to go early. Everything now is like so rushed and mad simplistic to a point that it's like no content in it. It's been stripped. It's like, strip this content off, strip this detail off. I want flat surfaces and 2D people. You know what I'm saying?
Production.
Right. I don't want any like morals in the story. I just want a kid who loses their parents and then is victorious. There's no middle part or anything in between that. So like, that's what I mean by like rushing. When you rush and you just like, okay, I'm gonna do this. You know what I'm saying? You come up with some shit, you throw it out there. It's like you ain't really put yourself in there.
Yeah.
I mean,
You see that in music now.
Yeah, like
hell
Yeah, you see new artists, whether it's the rappers or
they
producers.
say it's an industry. They mean that shit. They have taken music and made it so
streamlined.
Workshop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's on an assembly line.
Yeah.
Beat. Rapper, screaming and shooting,
Dance
production, and then shows, and then we leave, and then we can throw that in the trash because that's the end of his career.
Yep.
Wow.
Where's little Yachty now? And shit? You know what I'm saying? I mean, maybe he is out here. I don't know. Half of these dudes. Like, it used to be a time where even if you didn't know who a rapper was, you still knew him.
Yeah.
Now it's like, yo, I don't know none of these motherfuckers.
Watered down, man.
Yeah, like my people wasn't listening to no Tupac and Biggie, but they can freaking memorize a line from one of their songs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You don't know who these people are now, and then it goes vice versa too, because I never really listened to Earth, Wind, and Fire, but I can sing their songs when I hear them shit.
Yeah, you're right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like it goes back and forth and shit. These kids now, it's like, I don't even know what the fuck. Like,
That's because nobody's being themselves, so they all like blend in together. You know?
Yeah. Like music is this one big, I
It's
don't
the
really know.
labels, man. The labels say this is what's gonna sell. This is all I want to hear.
Yeah.
So give me that, and we gonna sell it, and then it's on to the next rapper. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So let me ask you guys this: switching back over to the artistry aspect, for living down here, what are some of the challenges you face? Now, I want to say, being in the South, I don't want to just limit it to Charlotte. I do and I don't. So what are some of the challenges you face living down here in the South as an artist? And then what have you faced specifically in Charlotte?
I can't compare it to from New York because I didn't really tap in as an adult into my gift. But so I can't compare it. But one of the challenges I would find here is that there's no art community. I take for instance, like we had the South End, but there's really nobody at the gates to keep corporate America from coming in and tearing down Common Market and the art. Charlotte Art League that was across the street from Common Market and stuff like that. But I think one of the challenges here, I guess, is that everybody's just so spread out. You know what I mean? Now, I say like in New York, I know I could go to the Village. That's where everything was very eclectic there. You know what I'm saying? Even though the gay community was there, but it was very eclectic. I know even Atlanta. You go to Atlanta. You understand?
Yeah.
Whereas here, everything's so spread out. I guess I'm always searching for that audience to accept my art or to be interested in what I'm doing.
Demographic.
Yeah, the demographic. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna need a second. You can go ahead and go.
The biggest challenge for me down here is, like Chris was saying, like everything is spread out, but then also the grind. You know what I'm saying? Like, like when I go back home, where I'm from DC, everybody knows that. But in DC, like when I was growing up, everybody was grinding.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody had they hustle going on. Like you had the urban clothing shops. You know what I'm saying? People was making shoes. People was making food. People was making shirts, hats, popsicles, ice cream. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Selling CDs on the streets.
CDs,
You know,
glasses,
oils. Yeah.
food trucks. Like food trucks didn't just start. Like you know what I'm saying? It didn't just come about. Like that shit been going on. You know.
Yeah.
Like Bama's was selling food out of a truck from behind their bicycle. You know what I'm saying? Like that's grinding right there. You know, like I heard a story from my dad when he was talking about my uncle. He was like, yo, my uncle he got himself a truck and he would drive up and down the highway looking for people he could help out just to get it, you know what I'm saying, just to get some bread, but also helping motherfuckers out. You know what I'm saying? That's a grind. Like driving up and down the highway, checking on people and stuff, helping them out. But like down here, it's like people go to work, they come home, they tired, right, and they don't want to do nothing else after that. It's like they don't have.
They in their community, whatever they got around there. I'm going to that store in my community. It's just like they don't go nowhere.
Right, and that kills the motivation, that kills the creativity, because the creativity stays in your house. It doesn't get out there. You know?
Another thing with that is if they're not out there hustling the way you are, they can't appreciate it.
Right.
So if you say, all right, this art piece is this much, it's like they want to bargain with you. It's like, no, you don't understand what work it took.
Right.
They can't relate. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, most people, they work their job, come home, they're in that rat race.
Right.
Whereas that in the middle of our rat race, we stop. We have to make that time to create. They don't get it.
See, I used to be one of them. Because, like, I'm from D.C. as well. And, like, coming down here in 2014, I wasn't on no art wave. I ain't know nothing about it, you know?
Yeah.
I just seen some dope paintings. I was like, oh, that shit dope, you know? Yeah. How much?
Yeah.
About 50? Come on, dog, 35? But now, like, I can appreciate it because all the blood, sweat, and tears that went into these paintings, you know? Yeah. Me now, it's like, okay, you want 100? I'm gonna give you 120.
There
You know,
go. There you
because
go.
one thing I've learned, and hearing this from other artists, some people would actually limit themselves by saying, yeah, you know, I normally charge this, but I'll give it to you for this.
Yeah.
And I've heard stories where people was, you know, it's just like, why limit yourself like that? It's like that whole mentality. You know they want to negotiate with you, so I'm gonna just start out the negotiation. But no, you put your blood, sweat, and tears and your vision into it. Sell it for what it's worth.
Yeah,
I had a-
I would say know your worth.
Yeah,
Right, there
yeah.
you go. And I had a conversation with you one time, Justin, about pricing your work.
Yeah. I was asking.
How much is your time worth?
Yeah, yeah.
So let's go back to that 9 to 5 thing again. You get a certain amount of, a certain amount per hour, right? At a 9 to 5. Now you do it on your time. Is it worth that much or is it worth more? Whatever it is. So like you're right. Don't shortchange yourself to get that dollar.
Yeah.
You're selling yourself. You see what I'm saying? You're literally selling yourself short.
Yeah.
Because 9 times out of 10, you're not really charging a whole lot per hour. Because you can't.
Yeah.
If I spent 30 hours on this, I can't. If I say $800, you're like, that's crazy. But if you break it down per hour, that's whatever the math is, which isn't a lot. You know what I mean? So
I never thought of it like that.
Yeah.
You actually working backwards. You're right.
yeah.
You're looking at it like if you have a price, how much time
Taking
did
the
it take?
mathematical approach.
Yeah, mathematical approach. Yeah.
You usually getting minimum wage 9 times out of 10. You're paying yourself minimum wage.
Yeah.
Less than that.
Less than that most of the time.
Damn, I've never heard that before.
Yeah.
Hey,
When
math
it came
is an
to
art, bro.
price. Yeah.
Yeah.
comes
And
to
I got that
pricing
from a
out
friend of
there.
mine. He's an entrepreneur, and then we sit down and talk. He's like, "What is your time worth?" So whatever you're doing, like my wife's looking to be a tutor, or Spanish teacher. So he's talking about like pricing, how much is it going to cost, and she was just breaking it down, this, and basically, if you think about it, this is what her time is worth. You know what I'm saying? She's taking time out of her day to do something for you.
Right.
You know,
She's not
just
gonna be with her family. Like I gotta be
Yeah.
in my zone
Right,
to focus on you. So
And-
that's time away from everything. Like
Right.
my time is worth a lot.
And that's why I said before, like, we, as an artist, you taking time out of that rat race. So that rat race is family, that rat race is sleep, that rat race is sitting down watching the game. You know what I mean? Sometimes I'm multitasking. I'm watching the game and I'm painting it. Watching the game and I'm painting it.
Time. What's more valuable than your time? You know what I mean?
There you go. Yeah. Right.
And time is an investment. So
Right.
invest, and now you gonna pay what I'm worth.
And that's
Lawyers do it. Lawyers do it.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, hell yeah.
Right.
$100 an hour.
Therapist.
I mean,
With a
everybody.
therapist, yeah.
Everybody
Right,
does
with a
it.
smile on their face.
Yeah.
And that's essentially like the business aspect of the artist. You know what I'm saying? Like when
Yeah.
you start getting into the business of artistry, you have to like convert yourself to thinking like that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Especially if you plan to stop the 9 to 5, you gotta make sure.
Oh God, yeah, man. Because like selling yourself, it's easy to sell yourself short. Because sometimes you look at people, you like, I want, I'm doing this for them. It's personal. I kind of want to help them out. But then you like, yo, I need this paper.
Yeah, you need this paper.
You know what I'm saying?
So that's
like,
the tough part. So do you sell yourself short or do you hold out?
Right.
But how bad do you want it? Like, do I want it? You want to give me $40 when my paint is worth $150? Like, do I really? Like, sometimes you just gotta wait it out and be patient. Like, you are worth your time. Like,
Exactly.
You don't ever sell yourself.
Yeah,
short.
that.
Then you're saying true to yourself.
And everybody can't afford your work.
Right.
If certain people can't
Exactly,
afford your
and that's
work,
fine.
you got to get it in
Sorry,
front of the
not
people who
sorry,
can.
but
Yeah.
Black people don't like to buy art.
That's true. Bro.
I can't sell no art to black people.
Yo, black people do not buy art
They don't
because
buy
they look
art.
at how is it going to change my life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Immediately.
Right,
Yeah.
but like, okay, as an artist too, though, and this is how you can flip the script, as opposed to, okay, if you selling them a painting, it looks nice in your house, but like we gotta look at it like this, okay. Instead of selling a painting to a person just to sell a painting to them, we should be looking at interior decorators. Like, yo, I sell this painting to you if you want to put it up in a house to model the home or whatever like that, you know, because it's black, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If we can look for black people who will invest in us, like, okay, you design backpacks. If I draw you up a couple designs for a backpack, will you pay me? You feel me? What I'm saying?
I bought a backpack from him. Yo.
Right,
Dope
yo,
his backpack.
right, yo, like, yo, hats, all of that, like, that we got to get in that mindset. We be looking for the people who ain't got the bread, like, and I'm gonna jump off a subject real quick, but like, it's like people who stand out on the corner, bro. Like down the street, they stand out on that corner every day. You know what I'm saying? Asking people for money, but you know what kind of people they asking? You asking broke niggas for broke shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need money, you need to take your ass over to the South Park and stand on their corners. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
Don't be asking, like, I felt bad as shit. I was driving up in my truck, shit looking all nice and shit. I'm like, yo, this truck was a fucking blessing, bro. I don't got the money.
Yeah.
You know
Don't
what I'm
be
saying?
fooled.
Yeah.
You know, I got I can pay for it, but I need this truck for what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? This has been a blessing to me.
Yeah.
You know, so don't just look at me and think just because I'm driving around in this truck, I got paper and shit. You know what I'm saying? I pull up, little kid, like, yo, you want to buy some water? I'm like, nigga, I don't got $1 in my pocket.
Yeah.
And I'm running low on like $6 fucking in my bank account. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna say that shit out loud because when you invest in yourself in the beginning, bro, you do not have no bread.
Yeah, you're right.
You know? So I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, I'm like, bro, I ain't got no money. He looking at me like, nigga, for real?
Truck, nigga.
Yeah.
I know that truck take like $50. Nigga,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
got some bread, you know. His homeboy came like, his uncle came and was like, yo, bro, when y'all drive down the street, y'all need to support these kids. I'm trying to show them, you know, the best way, best path. Like, well, brother, you ain't got it neither. Cause your ass is in the broke place. You need to take your ass up there to Concord, stand on them niggas' corners and ask them for some goddamn pennies and quarters and shit. Cause they got all of it. You know what I'm saying? They walking around with $100 bills in their pocket, my nigga. They could buy your truck.
Yeah.
And that's where it gets fucked up, cause it's like we was talking about before, like all the classes pull from one class. Like the poor pull from the middle, and then the rich also pull from the middle. You know what I'm saying? So like we the hardest working class in the goddamn world, you know? We always paying taxes and shit. Poor ain't paying no taxes. These rich motherfuckers ain't paying no taxes. I don't care what y'all think. They ain't paying no taxes. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We paying the taxes. We doing the work. And, you know, people look at us like we lazy, or like rich look at us like we're lazy. The poor look at us like we're not humble and shit. You know, so it's like, dude, like, I don't have no paper to give you, cuz, and then it make you feel bad, like, damn, man, like, I want to help these little black kids and shit, but fuck, I need to be out on the corner with these niggas. Goddamn. You feel me? Yeah. I need to be with this shit. Let me set up my paint shop right beside y'all niggas. Y'all sell water. Y'all sell water to me because I'm hot as shit, and I'm going to sell y'all paintings for the water. You know what I'm saying? I'll paint your face for a water bottle and shit.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, but us as blacks, we gotta go to, if we want to make black prevail, we gotta go to other black people who are trying to be successful at what they're doing and cross what is it called? Cross market or cross
barter.
Yeah, cross barter. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I realize you trying to set up this house, you an interior decorator. Let me come up with concepts and draw out and plan out this shit, you know. And then in turn, you can exemplify, you know, and show off my art pieces and shit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And like hook me up with some jobs or some gigs and shit. You know?
Yeah, man, you just gave me an idea. Not an idea. You reminded me of something I was been slacking on. It's really reaching out to a lot of real estate agents are getting into interior decorating now, so they could stage. I think it's staging. Right. And the lady that showed us our house, our agent, I need to reach out to her again. She's like, yeah, reach out to me in a few months and blah, blah, blah. So what I'm trying to say is, as artists, you know, there's that term, broke artists.
Yep.
So what we got to start doing, which I've done, I know you've done, is start tapping into other things. Like I do paint and sip events. You know what I'm saying? You've done paint and sip events. Like you spoke about putting your artwork on bags, whether it's on, you know, phone covers or whatever the case is. You know what I'm saying? So we got to start thinking more on the business aspect than think, okay, try to buy, buy my painting, because we know what our paintings are worth.
Yeah.
Who's going to buy it? But if you put your painting on, I don't know, some clothing or something like that, it's different. It's still a hustle, though. You know what I'm saying? You're just not selling on canvas anymore. You're just selling it on something else. You know what I mean?
Right.
I try to tell people all the time too that the broke artist thing is an older term.
Right.
I don't know how true it is, but I feel like the internet and social media, I feel like that changed the game.
Yeah.
I feel like you can take social media and the internet and pretty much take it to wherever you want to take it.
Right.
But I got that
So
from
I
an older
feel-
guy.
Yeah.
You know, one of the guys at my church, he was like, hey, man, we broke artists.
Yeah.
I feel like you can't think like that.
Yeah. I never want to use that term.
What
I
you
never
say,
wanna
Sade?
use that term.
I said y'all just ain't rich artists yet. Y'all ain't
Yeah.
broke.
Nah, we not broke. But
Yeah.
yeah, we got to start thinking on a different level. And,
There's a million ways to get it.
yeah.
Yeah, man. And like we also too, like as black artists or any kind of artist, we gotta help each other. Like, show each other like, okay, I made it this way by doing this. You know what I'm saying? You don't
Yep.
really see like no black artists or our people out here making no YouTube videos like, and this kills me about the music industry. Like these niggas get so successful, but their idea of giving back to the children is by giving them money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, don't give these little niggas money. Give these niggas knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Show them the steps that it took to get to where you
You
was
got to
at.
start them from the mud.
Put that shit in your
Yeah.
music. Like Jay-Z, he put out the blueprint,
Yeah.
talking about success. He was speaking his success into existence, bro.
Mm-hmm.
He literally willed that shit into his, you know what I'm saying? He manifested that shit through his word. Like, he was, showing motherfuckers. I mean, like, if you could make a 10 Crack Commandments song about, like, how you got to where you got to,
Yeah.
but just change the word formats to, like, the steps that you took.
Yep.
Like, that's how you give back to your community. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
They don't need, like, we need computers. Yeah, that's cool. But, like, the biggest way that you can give back to your community or to anyone or your people is by giving them knowledge. Like, okay, I'm up here now, motherfuckers. Like, y'all hold on to my hands. I'm going to pull y'all up and shit. And y'all, you know what I'm saying? When y'all get up on top of me, then y'all can pull me up. And we can keep on climbing like that. You know what I'm saying? Like a type of monkey chain effect and shit. But we so busy with our success that we just fucking allow it to turn us and, like, shy us away from, like, what's truly important. And that is the gain of our knowledge. That is the gain of our existence. Like, how the fuck did the Egyptians get to where they was at? We can read text. How did Lil Wayne get to where he was at? Can you read a text? You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, where is that
That's
content, though?
way more valuable than going to give computers or going to give money.
Right.
And that's one reason, back to Nipsey Hussle.
Yeah.
I watched from start to finish, RIP. But what Nipsey did was exactly what you said. He showed you, okay, this is where I'm starting, and this is where I'm going early in it. You know what I mean? And along the way, tape after tape after tape, you saw that progression. And while you saw that progression, he was telling you how he did it. You know what I mean? So that's one reason why he's one of my favorite artists, because he gave you so much game.
Right.
And even in, I guess I'd say even in my hard times, you know what I mean? Listening to stuff like that, it's motivating, you know what I mean? It kind of gives you a direction.
I feel like that about Kendrick Lamar.
Yep.
Because I feel like throughout his career, he's explained, like, all the steps and shit that he's taking. And that's the thing about, like, taking your time and going into detail.
Yep.
Like, I know we're talking a lot about music, but music is just, like, it's inspiring in so many ways. Taking your time and actually processing your knowledge and then giving it back to people, as opposed to just being like, standing out on the corner, 100 souls under my gun, standing out on the block,
Got hoes.
looking for cops, shot. You know what I'm saying? Stupid shit like that. It's like, yo, the fuck is the meat of this shit? You know what I'm saying? Like, you jumping from adjective to noun back to an adjective, you know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck is going on with your damn language, boy? You know, where's your
ain't nothing like
prepositions?
having
Where
that,
your verbs? You know.
I feel you on that
So like, you know, like, I feel you know, thank you artists for giving back, you know, giving your money and stuff like that. But I would really appreciate it if y'all niggas could come out with some books telling niggas how to goddamn reach them levels and shit. Come out with a seminar and shit talking about, okay, yeah, I started out in the hood. I realized my potential. I started jotting down notes. I put it together. I got linked up with this person. I never slept. You know, shit like that.
Yep.
You know, and we not gonna never get nowhere. We gonna always be buyers if we don't have no philosophers actually teaching us and shit. You know, we don't
Business seminars.
Yeah, we associating with the white folks, and I mean that's cool. They got knowledge, but
They
they
don't look like us.
right, and they don't live in our environment. Not
Yeah.
all of them.
And
you
they
know,
don't come from the
it's a different mind state.
to be able to look at somebody who looks like you and kind of comes from similar upbringing and to watch that, it's a connection there.
Yeah. And I mean we losing that shit, man. Cause like back in the day, back in the 90s, bro, I feel like 2000 should be the 90s times 10. Cause niggas was on they grind in the 90s, bro. You listen to the music, you look at the art form, you look at the movies, you look at the directors and the producer, everybody, all the blacks was on that come up shit, and we gonna help each other do this shit. You know, Wesley Snipes and shit with the Michael Jordan shit. What is it? Spike Lee, I'm sorry. Spike Lee in the Michael Jordan campaign for his shoes and shit. Like that right there that's a connection, you know what I'm saying? And like doing the butt. Spike Lee did that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Even his movies,
Right,
you know, black and white
right.
movies, he started with
You know what I'm
budget was
saying?
so low.
Yo.
He made his way up.
And like they was helping each other out, like, you know.
Representation.
Right, like they was helping.
Need to
Like
get
now
back
it's
to
like we trying to please. We trying to please.
Say
We
it,
trying
man.
to please each other, as opposed to showing them like, yo, you over here tripping about how vicious I am, but you can be the same way. You know, matter of fact, I'm taking 10 kids with me, and we gonna have a camp, and every day they gonna see my routine, a day in the life of LeBron James. You know what I'm saying? Work edition. And have these kids go, you know what I'm saying, go stay in a hotel and shit, and every day they can spend some time with him for like maybe like a couple weeks or some shit like that. And see how hard that motherfucker ain't just sitting on the couch watching basketball. That nigga is in the gym. You know what I'm saying? That motherfucker put his heart and soul in. You can't just watch basketball and think, oh, I'm gonna go on the court and do this shit. I played basketball, bro. You gotta practice that shit. Like, you know, you gotta be out there doing 20, 50, 100 layups the same way. You know, Steph Curry, you think he got his shot just by fucking sitting on the couch shooting trash balls in the trash can? Nah, that nigga in the gym. Cool.
Gotta be,
I got him,
man.
Dad. Cool.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
300 more.
His dad over there like, yup. Oh, make sure you spread your fingers. Make sure you spread them fingers, boy.
Yeah.
Oh, I can do this, not even looking. Oh. You know, that's Steph Curry, bro. That's real nigga shit. You know, we need 20 kids, 20 black kids in the gym watching Steph Curry practice.
That's it.
That's how you give back, man.
Immersion, like just having immersed in whatever it is.
You think us,
basketball, whatever.
think us as artists could do something like that?
Hell yeah. 20 kids in the
Art
gym,
camp.
just straight painting, just straight art. Because the schools, they trying to take art out of it. They don't want you to be abstract, creative. They want you to work.
I say that
Gotta be
shit
a
started
robot.
when they say they not using cursive anymore. That's what I think that shit started. You can't use cursive, you can't do your signature. Your signature is a form of you. Right?
It's your own personal style,
Yeah. That's just how I see
Your
it.
print, shit, that's your fingerprint.
Exactly. But at this part, I want y'all to promo what y'all about to do. So what y'all got coming
What
up?
y'all got going
yeah,
on?
man.
Tomorrow I'll be in Monroe at the Belk downtown Wanda Park for Juneteenth event. I'll be doing paint and sip for the kids.
Okay.
I'll be doing 3 events for the kids.
For
Hopefully,
the kids.
kids, Chris of the
Sipping
kids. And I'll also have my art displayed out there too. I'll be out there from 3 to 8. Next week I'll be at the Hong Fat Deli. That's on Tuskegee, doing a lobster paint and sip where.
Oh yeah, I saw that. 'Cause I was like, "Ooh, we got lobster."
Yeah, that's what's up.
Shit. Oh,
yeah.
I gotta come to that.
So check it out.
Ooh.
So,
I seen that
yeah.
post,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe
so,
lobster tails. Work that back.
Yeah. Word up. So for $55, be paint and sip event. All supplies included. Lobster dinner.
Mimosas.
Mimosas
Ooh,
and
when
all
is this
wine.
again, bro?
That's next week, Saturday,
Saturday.
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock. I
Yeah,
will
keep
be
checking
there.
my IG page, ArtequalsC2 on IG. I keep posting on there. And what else we got next month?
Next month we got a art exhibit going on, hopefully in Camp North End. I'd say the date is July 26th.
Yeah, Friday.
It's gonna be myself, Chris, and another young lady, Teresa. We're gonna be displaying some dope artwork, fun times, some drinks. Come out, have a good time, listen to some music.
Yeah, good art, good atmosphere. Black kaleidoscope.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna call it.
Hey, I like
Like
that.
kaleidoscope.
I like that.
So,
Shit's lit right there. Y'all got a logo for that?
Dup and swap.
Y'all
Dup and swap.
Y'all got flyers for that joint?
we got flyers? No, we ain't got no flyers yet.
Oh, y'all need
we gonna get them
some?
out. We gonna get them out. We gonna
Y'all
get them
need
out.
some?
Flyers. I'm on the flyer.
Hey, Cross.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Bartering out here.
There you
Yes,
go.
sir.
There
You
you
know?
go. There you go. There
I
you
mean,
go.
if y'all need it, let me know.
But yeah,
So we got that
definitely,
going on.
Yeah, so we all got stuff going on.
Oh, I also got a paint and sip coming up in Cornelius. If y'all know where that's at, it's off of exit 28. It's gonna be on July 20th. I ain't gonna have no lobster, but but we gonna have some drinks, some music. I'm gonna try to curate a special playlist because I'm really pretty big into music. So I'm gonna try to curate a nice playlist for everybody. And what I want to do with this paint and sip is kind of promote what we were talking about earlier. Promote that everyone's an artist, everyone can do art. Switch it up a little bit. I'm gonna give the attendees an opportunity to kind of personalize their piece, so everybody will end up with a little something different at the end, just to kind of remind people that you can do this instead of sit on the couch and watch Netflix all day, or just to promote it and let everybody know that everyone is an artist. So
That's what I love about it. No, I'm sorry.
July 20th. July 20th.
Where
I think
exactly? Where at?
it's called the place is called Brick Row. It's in Cornelius, right close to downtown. Yeah, come check me out. It's be about $40 instead of $55. So
But you ain't got no
you can go
lobster,
to
though. You ain't
Chris.
got no
You can go to Chris's paint
You
sip,
got the lobster and the alcohol.
then come to
though,
mine.
you know what I mean? Lobster and the alcohol.
and then come to the exhibit.
That sounds like a good time.
And Dup and Swat,
yeah,
Dup and
dope.
Swat in
Yeah,
Camp
that's
North
fine.
End.
I'm gonna come to that
But
joint,
what I, and maybe you could attest to this too. What I love about our paint and sip events is that everybody does have their own style. I always tell people, like, don't try to match what I'm doing. I can't even duplicate what I'm
Put your
doing.
twist on it.
But you got your own. Everybody's an artist, man. Even if you can't draw, you can't paint. But whatever you put on that canvas, if I'm up at the front of an audience, and I'm showing you something, how to do it step by step, but yours look different than the person next to you and mine. What does that say?
Right.
We all have our own
Right.
identity.
Yeah.
We're
Right.
all artists.
That's
right?
true.
You're right.
We all
I can make a
artists.
mean stick figure out this month.
Yeah.
Hey, but stick figures in
We
today's
all
society will
artists.
sell.
yeah.
Actually,
Stick
shit,
figures
in
work,
all
man.
societies they have sold. Shit, when you think about it, shit, some African artists stick figures.
I tell people all the time, if you can draw a line, you can draw anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just might
Everything
drop
is a
the hell
line,
out of
dog.
that.
Everything is a line.
Everything is a shape, yeah.
So if you look at my artwork, it's a lot of lines. You know what I'm saying? So
After this show, you got to see his art, man.
Oh yeah,
I'm
that's
a-
without a doubt.
FK.Creative, check me out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
without a
Yeah.
doubt.
Shoot, I mean, if you shoot me some of those photos, I can actually just put them in the slide.
Boom,
Yeah,
I'm with
yeah,
it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Put your signature over it. as a watermark or whatever watermark you got, and I put that joint in the
That's
slide
what's
of this
up,
joint.
man. See,
for.
that's artists helping
Exactly.
each other out.
That's
You
what
know
I'm talking
saying?
about.
Take note, IG. This is what we do.
This is
You
what
know?
we do.
yeah.
That's what we do.
First,
Each other out.
first person to send me a message about this podcast, I say let's give a free 18 by 24 print. I'm selling those right now for the low. But if you send me a message right now and follow Dirty Mouth Radio, boom, free. Only one now. Everybody can't do it.
And how do they get
Free
in, how
print.
do they get in contact with you? What's that?
At FK.Creative. Do it right now. First one, the only one, because that's all I can afford. But yeah, follow Dirty Mouth Radio. Send me a message. Slide in the DMs. You get a free print.
Bang, bang.
That's what's
Boom.
up.
Cool,
That's what's
cool.
up.
You got to
man.
do both.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And don't forget
tomorrow-
about
Yeah, tomorrow I'll be selling prints out there. Buy one, get the next one $5 off. The first one to book a event with me would get 20% off. So I mean, we ain't trying to rip nobody off.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
right,
We want people to. I mean, even though we value our art, we value our time. Things like this help out the community. You know what I'm saying? So if I can get kids in a class, you can get kids in a class,
Yo.
and we just teaching art. That's what's up. You know what I mean? Yeah, same thing with our painting sips next week, man. You know, just come out, just have a good time. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this was a beautiful episode, man. This
Appreciate this.
we
Man.
done
John was dope as crap.
dropped knowledge. We done created more opportunities. You know, we just put some more stuff together, bartering, everything.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
This is what we do. So this is your boy Comedic Energy.
Oh shit! I mean, damn! I know. Is this counterclock? Fuck it. It's your boy Cray New.
Connor Clark.
It's your boy Cray.
Hey, man, Christopher Clark, a.k.a. ArtequalsC2 on IG.
I'm F. Kearns, a.k.a. the Acrylic Assassin, a.k.a. the Canvas Killer. Follow me online. Follow everybody in the building.
Swink.
Make it work. And boom.
Your only girl podcast tonight.
I'm sorry, Sade. You gotta say that one more time for him.
Sade. The only lady on the podcast tonight.
It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. And don't forget, this is produced by Livewire Sound and Entertainment. And we out.
Peace.
Peace.
Good night.